he's got a knee and he'll be day to day. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, Jackson here. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not bad, thanks. When you got guys that traditionally have breakout games the way Isaiah did against New England, and Devin has these last few weeks, I'm wondering, do you at all think about, or do you change your game plan leading up to the next game when guys like that get hot? Maybe you think about getting them more involved, or is that not really something you think about?
I think we factor a lot of things into the game plan. That's certainly one of them. Just a matter of how much we factored in. So, I think we're always trying to be on the pulse that way.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hi, Sean. Adam Benini. Just wanted to follow up in terms of the run game, where it's at right now. We talked a little bit after the game yesterday about the balance. One game out of the regular season, how satisfied are you with where things are at in terms of the balance you have been able to achieve offensively at this point?
Yeah, I think it's on a game-by-game basis, really. I liked how we were able to pivot a little bit yesterday and run the ball. I thought our offensive line played extremely well, as did the backs that carried the ball, and then Josh factored into that as well with some of the runs that he made, as you saw, Adam. And so I think that's going to, that has improved, and it's good to have some continuity there a little bit, although it seems like it's every couple of weeks we change a little bit. So I was pleased with what I saw in that department yesterday.
Yeah, change is kind of the norm across the National Football League, I guess, for a lot of reasons at this time of the year. But under pressure down the stretch, particularly after the Monday night loss to New England and what happened in Tampa Bay, your team has been under some pressure to deliver. And understanding you have one game to go and a division title is still at stake. But how satisfied are you with how they've been able to deliver over these last three?
Yeah, I've been happy with what I've seen. The execution level at times yesterday was very high. At other times, quite honestly, it wasn't where it needed to be. And that's really what it really boils down to. And I think the preparation I've seen over the last couple of weeks, and the leadership, as I mentioned last week, has been big for us.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, Josh Reed here. Hope you're having a good day.
Same, Josh.
The Ed Oliver and Harrison Phillips, that tandem looks like they're playing pretty well next to each other. How much goes into that as far as just that chemistry of playing defensive tackle next to each other like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said for that. I think at any position, defensive line in particular, because there's so much of line calls or playing off of one another and feel there as you play next to each other. So I would echo what you said about those two playing well and playing well together.
Yeah, and after the game, you pointed out in particular that 3-play series there by Ed Oliver, which was huge, and kind of swinging things back, the momentum in your favor. All in all, though, the entire game, when you went back and watched Ed and the way he played, what did you see?
I saw a real solid game. I thought he was quick off the ball and disruptive at times. A couple of things, fundamentally, technique-wise, just like our entire defense, we can be better there. He'll continue to work on that part of his game, and but overall, I thought he wreaked havoc in that series in particular, but also throughout the game at different times.
Thanks again, Sean. Have a good day.
Yep, you too. Thanks.
I was just wondering, how close was Emmanuel to being able to play yesterday, and what are you expecting out of him this week?
Yeah, I'll just focus on this week. We'll see where he is. Right now, he's day to day. We'll see how he trends through the week here, Captain.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Hey, Sean, you talked about how your preparation and leadership has changed, and you're very proud of it over the last few weeks. I guess, could I just go, what has changed? I mean, I know you're not going to tell me everything that goes on in the locker room or leaders that have stepped up, but preparation wise, I know hindsight's 2020, but have you noticed a tangible thing that was like, that wasn't good, now this is better and the results are showing from it?
Yeah, and I should clarify. I don't necessarily think that it wasn't that our guys weren't preparing before, right? It's what they're doing now is they've taken it to another level. There's and the urgency that has come with that, and again, the leadership drives that, right? So I think there's been leadership, on the field at practice. Not that there again wasn't before, but again at another level, and so that's been good to have, and the impact that that's made on our team has been evident.
I know last year we talked a lot about wanting to play your best football at the end of the season. Is this kind of what you're talking about, where the urgency, stepping up at practice, that just goes with January football?
Well, sometimes it does. I think that's the way you want it. It doesn't always go like that, but the teams that I've been around that have been the good ones that play their best this time of year, it's certainly necessary to have that. Again, I've been happy with that. I think we've got more room to go there as well, and I just think we got to continue to embrace the growth mindset and stay humble yet confident in our approach every week.
Thanks. I appreciate it, Sean. Stay safe.
Yeah. All right. You too.
Hey, Sean, we were talking to Greg after the game, Greg Rousseau, and he was talking a little bit about, the challenges of your first year in the NFL. How have you seen him, kind of navigate the water, especially after sitting out last season, avoiding maybe a rookie wall, or did he experience any of that? And then his performance, of course, on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good young player, and I think there is a rookie wall for most rookies, especially ones that play right from the start, like Greg has. It's like I don't think many of them believe that hey, it won't affect me early in the year, but eventually they go through it, and sometimes then you can work yourself through that wall and then back out on the other end while still in the same season. So I think he's experiencing some of that now, and you saw some of that yesterday's game.
And then, 2 straight performances, he earned Pro Bowl honors, and Deion Dawkins has been playing at arguably an all-pro level. I mean, how good has that been to see a guy that obviously you guys have talked a lot about what he means in the room, but to see a guy who's gone through what he's gone through playing like this, what's that meant to you guys?
Yeah, he's played extremely well the last 2 weeks, effort-wise, urgency, finishing plays, and that's been a big lift for our offensive line and our offense.
Thanks, Sean.
Hey, Sean, it's Jay with the Buffalo News. We saw Stephon. It seemed like he was maybe getting checked out late. I think he did come back into the game. Is he all good to go injury-wise?
Yes, he's fine.
Okay. And then did you have any updates, COVID list additions? I don't think you had anybody on it to take off, but all clear there as well?
Yes, all clear today. Yeah.
Okay. And then lastly, I wanted to ask you about Levi Wallace. I think if you guys had such a thing as an unsung hero, he might be a good nomination for it. And particularly when you lose Tre'Davious, right? And, he's going to take on maybe added responsibility. But with what he's gone through this season and how he seems to kind of continually answer the bell for you, just what can you say about, the, I guess, perseverance, that maybe isn't the right word, but just what he's given you, week in and week out, you've really been able to rely on him, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, I love how he continues to grow, continues to get better each and every year, each and every week, really. And he's a model of an example of someone who came in, not high on the radar in terms of the draft status and all this type of stuff that so many people put all that weight and stock in, but he's come in and proven himself and works every day to improve himself. So, I mean, I've just been very, very happy with what I've seen.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Sean. Have a good week.
Yeah, it's it.
Good afternoon, Head Coach Sean McDermott, George Radney, Challenger Community News.
Hi, George.
All righty, good to talk with you again on Monday after a win. Question I have for you: has there been any consideration with Matt Breida, Isaiah McKenzie, and Devin Singletary all being on the field at the same time? Because it seems like they would create a very explosive, even more explosive offensive running game or passing, and it allows Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, and of course Dawson Knox to free up the defense. Seems like they wouldn't be able to have enough guys to cover, or the linebackers wouldn't be able to isolate. If you isolate one of those guys on linebackers, it seemed like it could open it up a little bit more.
Yeah, George, that's a good point. I mean, you sound like you've coached once or twice in your life before, huh?
Now, I grew up in the Air Coryell era. When you see a unit where you have that many explosive guys on one team, on one roster, and not seeing them all out there, Air Coryell, Don Coryell, he was outstanding of using he gave everybody touches. Even though it was one football, he was able to get the ball to almost all of those guys during various games.
He was amazing. I grew up watching him as well, and impressive to watch his offenses and how he spread the ball around, like you said. And yeah, I mean, we gave a lot of those combinations, as you mentioned, George, different, obviously thoughts and talk about that during the week. And so, we'll see where it takes us going forward here.
All right. One last thing, especially with the icy conditions and the weather probably not going to be that much better than yesterday, the rest of the way, you can get guys going in opposite directions. But hey, appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Hey, Sean. I was curious. I know you were asked about Marquez yesterday, but considering everything, would you think about any changes at returner this coming week, or how are you guys kind of approaching that on a week-to-week basis?
Yeah, we talk about a lot of things, as you just heard me say. So different combinations, who's best for the role this week, that week, and whatever the position might be. So, we'll just continue to take it 1 week at a time.
And watching the game back, I noticed that you kind of went over to him after and, said something short to him. What do you say to a young player like that, especially in that situation?
Yeah, those are the hard moments for young players, right? And hard for coaches to watch young players go through it, but they all do. And what you're looking for there is just a player that can mentally reset. And I thought Speedy did a good job with that during yesterday's game.
And then on a completely unrelated note, we're getting to this now 17th regular season game, and then obviously the playoffs are next. Coming into this season, knowing it was going to be longer, kind of either way, did you guys approach it any differently? What do you do to kind of make sure guys stay healthy with the extra games, and kind of how do you combat that?
Yeah, I think you've seen us adjust our practice schedule over the last couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks now, and I think that's helped. Probably a better question for the players overall in terms of how they're feeling, but we've tried to make some adjustments to our schedule to help them.
Thanks.
Yep.
Hey, Sean, I apologize if I missed this, but just wanted to clarify, are Heath Farwell and Eric Washington still in the COVID protocols?
They're back. Yeah, they were back last week and then coached in the game yesterday as well.
Okay, so is that the same timeline as, did those protocols change for players too? Or excuse me, for coaches as well as for players?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
Same. Yep, same.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
That's all we have for today. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thanks, guys.